You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time.
As Coach McDaniel says, check your pulse. And over here on Go Time Dolphins, we have our fingers on our pulse. Just, not just football-wise, but some things are bigger than football. And as we've alluded to in the past, once a year we speak about mental health awareness, CTE, stuff which no other Dolphins podcast, as far as we know, really does delve into. So it is the month of May. It is Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's only right over here on Go Time Dolphins we speak about mental health and its awareness. So, Charlie, tell everyone what time it is.
It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. Got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast, and official affiliates of Fanatics, where you could be a fanatic of your favorite franchise. Kadeem, yeah, there are some things more important than sports, and we're going to talk about sports. We got tons of sports we're going to throw in today. Shout out to the Panthers. Like, real quick off the top, I realized something with the Panthers, Kadeem, the Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers embody everything you want in a Miami team, bro. Like, they know how to just come back. They know how to not give up. They know when to be relentless. They know when they stick up for their teammates. It is wild. The coach is a dude. Like, shout out to the Florida Panthers doing it down, like, I want to say 1-0 maybe, and then win the game 6-2 in the third. That's crazy. But yeah, man. Mental health awareness, Kadeem. I remember when we first, and CTE awareness, you know what I'm saying? So I remember when we first came up with this idea, bro. I was like, yo, this might be a pretty good thing to touch on, right? And there's some lighthearted stuff in there, and then it's like, oh, you might want to think about this stuff like that. But I'm gonna be serious for a second, real quick. Shout out to Around the Horn. Around the Horn just ended after its 23rd season, like 22 and 3/4 seasons of Around the Horn. For those who are unfamiliar with Around the Horn came on before PTI with Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon. Around the Horn was hosted by Tony Reali, had a host of journalists, Woody Page, Plasky, J.A. Adonde, a whole bunch of people. And a lot of people came from that show and then blew up to be a bit bigger. I'm going to be honest with you, Kadeem. And the reason why we're talking about this on mental health awareness is because I needed it for my mental health. All jokes aside, there was a time in my life, Kadeem, I got out, had my own place, and, you get cable. This is long time ago. I've been having my own place forever. You know what I'm saying? So cable is through the roof. It's hundreds of dollars for cable. And then I realized, all I watch is ESPN. What I need cable for? You know what I'm saying? All I watch is ESPN. Then it got to a point where all I watched was Around the Horn and PTI and all the games. Whatever games came on. I didn't need cable, right? So I'm like, all right, you know what? Move to apartments. I'm not doing this cable thing. This is after, I don't know, 8 years of cable. You know what I'm saying? After about 8 years of cable, I'm like, nah, I'm not doing cable no more. I'm not paying upwards of $180 a month for cable just to watch 2 channels, some sports, and, PTI and Around the Horn. This is a true story. So I'm like, I'm pirating now. Give me my eye patch. Give me my eye patch. Bro, give me my eye patch.
Charlie's going to get us cancelled and stop any chance of us ever getting a deal with like a TV network or ESPN or anything. So
it is not recommended.
Continue.
It is not recommended. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully they don't demonetize us. But I do not condone it. You know what I'm saying? But That was the move. I'm like, yo, let's go. Give me my Fire Stick. I'm in the building, right? Bro, Fire Stick lasted like 3 months. And then I realized I can't watch what I want to watch when I want to watch it. I can't rewind it. I can't go back and pause it. I'm gonna run and do this. And I was like, nah, this is not the move. So Bert and X or Bert and LB, Bert has a brother named X, and X is like, slick, bro. You know you can't live without cable. And it's not that I can't live without cable. I couldn't live without PTI and Around the Horn. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, dang, this is bad. So long story, a little bit longer. I get cable again. Let's go. Take my money. You feel me? $200. And then YouTube TV comes out. And I'm like, oh, shout out to YouTube TV. We might need to get endorsed by YouTube TV. You feel me? Shout out to YouTube TV. Saved everything. Now I could just watch what I want to watch, when I want to watch it, rewind it, save it, whatever, and not pay for cable. You know what I'm saying? They are the replacement, and they finally kick in. So now, and then the NFL network, the NFL package, the Sunday ticket helped a lot, right? So I'm like, yeah, I'm locked in. But to watch the end of Around the Horn, the last episode of Around the Horn was on May 23rd. I ain't gonna lie, Kadeem. I had to fight back a couple tears, bro. I'm like, no, bro, I cannot believe this. Like, as far back as I can remember in my adult life, literally in my adult life, there was Around the Horn. You know what I'm saying? It was everyone's opinion from different walks of the country and their opinion on sports and the hottest sports takes and the coldest sports takes. And lo and behold, here I am with a podcast with my dog doing almost exactly the same thing they were doing. And they kind of influenced me in a way. So, bruh, shout out to everybody on Around the Horn. Not that anyone would ever see it from Around the Horn, this from Around the Horn, but dog, it was a different feeling to watch the end of Around the Horn. I'm like, dang, what am I doing with my life? There's no more Around the Horn. Now what? You feel me? So it was like a reality check. But let's get back into something a little more serious.
Yeah, I had a question because mental health awareness, CTE, brain injuries, and stuff like that, and having seen it firsthand. Obviously, for those who don't know, I attended my first home Miami Dolphin games this season, weeks 1 and 2, and weeks 2 being the primetime game against the Buffalo Bills. And I am directly in line with Tua as he dive in towards, I guess, getting a first down. He got the first down already, but he doesn't know that. He, collides with DeMar Hamlin. Serious injury. There's no ways around it. Misses the rest of the game, misses a few weeks. And I feel like we've had this conversation, or I don't know if we've had this conversation before, but I've seen it kind of being brought up in different circles in the past. Could going helmetless limit the amount of brain injuries and head injuries? And I say limit because rugby league, rugby union, what people say, I guess, is the English NFL, or NFL is American rugby. They still have brain injuries. They still have, concussions and stuff like that. But I feel like it's not to the same extent that the NFL does. And part of that reason is that, the lack of helmets. Do you think having no helmets in the NFL would reduce the amount of head injuries? Because you won't see players like Tua or people in general, lower their head to initiate contact or, anything like that.
I'm gonna say it like I always say it this time almost every year. I played in countless Sandlot games. And I know it doesn't mean anything to anybody about Sandlot games. And I see my brothers play in countless Sandlot games. Bro, in the 42 years of life that I have witnessed Sandlot tackle football games, Kadeem, I've seen one documented concussion. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is bad. We need to call somebody for this. You know what I'm saying? Once in my entire life. And matter of fact, it wasn't even a Sandlot game. It was an organized flag football game there's a platform. I don't want to say the wrong name for it, so I won't say what platform it's on, but there's a flag football tournament that shows up twice a year. and it was flagged. Go figure. It wasn't even tackled. It was flagged where we seen that concussion. So I guess I haven't seen any concussions that we noticeable, like, oh yeah, he's out of there. You know what I'm saying? And it's because we remove our heads from the play because you don't want to hit someone else's head. And unfortunately, when you give people armor to put on, you put on these pads, you put on these shoulder pads, you put on helmets, and it's weaponized. They weaponize the helmet. They feel like they're protected, and now they're using their armor to make the tackles instead of technique to make proper tackles. And even in the proper technique, you can still kind of be injured. So if the chances of, I don't want to put no real numbers on it, but if you can kind of be injured and using proper technique, what do you think is going to happen when you use your head as a missile? Like, you just put your head down, dive for it. And we used to see that a lot in linebackers, just diving and like just put their like a torpedo and just dive and hit someone with their helmet or with their whole head. So yes, in my opinion, Kadeem, I think you would have a lot less concussions if there were no helmets. However, I thought I remember hearing that you would have more neck injuries, because I think back in the day, pre-helmet actually was just the leather helmets. You know what I'm saying? I believe they had more neck injuries. Not sure how true that is, but I think you would have less concussions for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine, you take helmets out of it, like you said, you're still going to get neck injuries simply because of that whiplash action. Again, you see it in rugby, someone's running and then a tackle, be it a somewhat blindside tackle or a head-on tackle. You're running forward, someone's trying to drive you back. Your body is going to jerk in a motion which I guess isn't considered natural, unless you're playing elite sports that are that physical and for lack of a better phrase, violent. There's nothing you can really do about it, Again, for people who have watched Go Time Dolphins for years and I've seen previous episodes on CTE, mental health awareness, concussions are something which I feel like is just an accepted part of contact sports, be it football, rugby, NFL, because there's going to be collisions. There's just nothing you can do about it. And, we're seeing the NFL, I guess, take it more seriously. We can sit here and name players who, I don't like getting this whole discussion again, but we've seen players come out and speak about concussions and concussions that they've had, and no one's batted an eyelid. And yet there's an article. You know what? This is a good time to bring it up. So bear me 2 secs. There's an article. Heavy. This website is the Times of India, but there's a recent article around Tua basically saying if he gets another injury, he could be done. It's like, where did this come from? Like, there's been no talk about Tua getting injured at all, and yet someone put an article out basically saying, yeah, if he gets injured, he might need to retire. And it's like, you don't do that for anyone else who suffered multiple concussions in their career. So let me try and find out who wrote it, because that's
why you try to find out who wrote it. Also, let's do a little stat check, Kadeem. Drake May, what year is he going into?
Year 2, I believe.
Year 2. So last year he was a rookie. Are you aware he had 2 documented concussions?
Not at all.
The rookie Drake May had 2 documented concussions. This is and what I didn't want this episode to turn into is, or what about these guys? And everyone talks about Tua, that because this is not the Tua episode. And as a matter of fact, I think we had CTE awareness before the Tua concussions. I think we had CTE awareness episodes before Tua concussions, but I could be wrong. But that's not where this idea of an episode came from. So you got Drake May had 2 documented concussions as a rookie, bro. I'm gonna bring up this name, bro, and I think the numbers are out there for Google. So if you're listening to this episode and you're like, oh well, let's fact check, stat check these guys. Chris Olave,
yeah,
has had 3 documented concussions. and 6 since 2018. So 3 in the NFL and 6 since 2018 when he was back in college. 6, Kadeem, in his 6 years? And these are some laid out, get the stretcher type of concussions, bro. These are like the ugliest Antonio Brown hit by Vontaze Burfict type of concussions. Everyone's getting on Derek Carr for setting up Chris Olave. So, oh, this is Derek Carr's fault. But was it? Do we know that it's really Derek Carr's fault? Or was it a hit that maybe was an illegal hit? Or was it even that serious of a hit? And now he's just getting concussed off of hits that maybe you shouldn't get concussed from. I don't know. But at the same time, you can't argue the number of six concussions since 2018, bro. Bro, I'm concerned. I ain't gonna lie. I'm concerned for Chris Olave. I'm concerned for Tua because the last concussion didn't look that bad. Like it didn't look like a bad hit. So it wasn't like someone cleaned his clock. I guess I don't know how appropriate that is right now, but it's not like someone hit him hard and then he got concussed. It looked like a very fairly average play that Tua's last concussion came from. So I'm concerned about Tua, concerned about Chris Olave, concerned about what's this dude's name? Christian Benford for the Bills. I think his last one was head scratching. Like, oh man, this. And I'm gonna put this out there, but I'm gonna just full disclaimer. I think Christian Benford had a concussion, went out, missed like his allotted week or two, and came back and had another one. I think. So when we're talking about concussions, last but not least, I'll throw this one out there. Denzel Ward, I think he's upwards of 6 or 7 too. And it's just a lot, bro. So you here you go, you're a corner, and there's no way to make a tackle without using your upper body as a cornerback. No way to make this tackle. So now you're again, I think last episode we talked about, I think the upper part of your shoulders are going to be in the tackle. And even if you do the proper technique, your neck, head, and neck area, what they like to say in the NFL, is going to be a part of the tackle. So how you tackle someone with removing your head and neck area and your upper part of your shoulders is beyond me. But at the same time, some of these boys, in your Denzel Wards, your Christian Benfords, these boys can't even tackle no more without potentially having a career-ending concussion. So it's concerning. And before I pass it over to you, Kadeem, this is a perfect time to insert, as I do every single CTE awareness and mental health awareness episode. If there was a way, and if there are science and scientists and the NFL and all these billions of dollars in the television and contracts and stuff like that, if there was a way where they said, hey, we're not playing football anymore until we figure out how to play this game safer and maybe not eradicate concussions, but drastically bring the number down. And if it takes a year or 2 years or whatever amount of years to figure it out, I will gladly, as a football fan, cancel football. Like, hey, no one plays football until the big money scientists and NFL billionaire boys figure out how we can play this game safely. I would go through my regular 12-hour shifts, Kadeem, 72-hour weeks. When fall comes up, hey, there's no football this year. But I feel really good about it.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect time to take a time out.
Enjoying the episode so far? Whether you're watching in the comfort of your own home or on the go, Go Time Dolphins is where you want to be for your fix on all things Dolphins. So hit that like button, drop a comment below, and make sure to subscribe to the channel to help us keep growing and reaching more Fins fans around the world.
Charlie, I found that article. It's a PFF article written by someone called Ryan Smith. I think he does like PFF Dolphins on Twitter, I believe. But the article is 10 players returning from injury to comeback watch. And yeah, at number 5 is Tua. basically says, yeah, concussions. If he stays healthy, great. If not, then they're in for trouble. The last thing I want to say about concussions and all that kind of stuff, and about how the NFL needs to take it seriously. Don't remember the exact game, but I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. When Josh Allen was knocked out cold, and no one can tell me he wasn't out cold. He was down for the count. Muhammad Ali over him out for 10. Out for 10. And he come back into the game. And that's where it's just like, yo, we need as a sport to be better, because I don't care if it's Josh Allen or an undrafted rookie. Like, it doesn't matter who it is. Your name and how much you earn should not, dictate whether you come back into the game or not. So, like, absolute, until they take stuff like that seriously, because it was Teddy Bridgewater, Teddy Two Gloves, and
I was just about to bring him up, but go ahead.
Teddy Bridgewater and his phantom concussion, which had him out for a game, and yet Josh Allen is out cold. Now you're all good. Keep playing. So
Teddy Bridgewater, former Miami Dolphin Teddy Bridgewater. This is after the Tua concussion and Tua debacle. You know what I'm saying? The NFL handled it wrong, and they said he was cleared, and then, that wasn't the spirit of the rule, and now it's all this heat on the NFL. So the NFL felt like, we're going to stick it to the Dolphins for putting us under the microscope. And then they took our next quarterback out on purpose. So Teddy was like, yo, I'm an older, smarter, wiser quarterback, right? So when I take hits now, I don't just pop back up. I'll take the hit, take a breath, and then recover, get back up. And in that hit, it didn't look like he was down, taking a breath, gathering himself. It looked like he just, all right, took a hit, I'll get back up. It's nothing. You know what I'm saying? So he also had this, I forgot where he was, but I think Sports Center put this up. And jokingly, Adam Schefter retweeted this. Jokingly, Teddy Bridgewater said, I had this one concussion where I came to in the hospital, and I couldn't remember nothing. I just remember people waking me up, and I was upset and angry that I was having this good nap, and then everyone woke me up. I'm like, what are y'all waking me up for? And then he was in the hospital, and they had to tell him that he was concussed. And that was the last one before he retired the first time. He was like, all right, I didn't know I was concussed. Like, I thought I was just sleep. You know what I'm saying? So they had to wake him up, and he didn't remember the game all the way up to waking up in the hospital. So all that was removed from his memory, and he's like, all right, well, hold on. That's pretty bad then. You know what I'm saying? So that was Teddy Bridgewater. Something else, Kadeem, that you brought to the front of my brain. How about Patrick Mahomes' helmet shatters? Against the Miami Dolphins in the playoffs, in the frigid conditions of minus 10 degrees in the winter, and probably real field probably feels like minus 20, right? His helmet shatters, but since they're inside the 10-yard line, they don't want to make him go out. They don't want to, hey, you got to go out. You got to sit out or play. You got to get a new helmet. You got to do this. You got to do that. The helmet is broken. And they let this man play. And in the spirit of player safety, did they stop the game, Kadeem? Did they make him go out? Did they say, hey, you got an equipment infraction? You got to go? Did they do any of that? Nah, they let him play like 3 more plays. Maybe more. I can't remember. But it was like the game did not stop. The wheels kept churning. And I didn't appreciate that either.
Yeah, this isn't us trying to, worries Dolphins. It's just consistency. And it's, we would say in any of these situations, if the league feels that someone's got a concussion or, a head injury or whatever, take precaution. It's just make sure it's consistent across all teams and all players. Very quickly, shout out to Rob. Sunderland won their playoff to win the Premier League. Next season they'll be playing with the big boys, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool. So congratulations. And yeah, Jason Keck just mentioning that the Chiefs game should have been cancelled, but it wasn't. Quickly, I say quickly, but mental
Could
health.
have moved the game too. Maybe it didn't have to be canceled. All of them, bro. You know how many times we have a weather issue when it comes to hurricanes, or this happened, or Buffalo had the snowstorm and they had to move the game. But that happens within the same week, within days. Even I think last year wasn't the Minnesota game moved, or maybe it was either a playoff game or the first game of the year. The Minnesota game was moved to Arizona. I can't remember what game that was,
That
but
sounds familiar. But yeah,
it was moved to Arizona. Like, yo, this happens in days' notice, and they can make it happen. You're not telling me that you're gonna put your fans, and this has nothing to do with that. It was a Dolphin game. You're gonna put your fans in what feels like negative 20-degree weather to watch a football game, and your players subject to being hit in these temperatures and battle frostbite, shattering equipment, and say player safety. You can't do X, Y, and Z, but you could do this. Come on now, bro. Like, are we really thinking about the players, or are we not? So I question a lot of things, bro. And I know we're probably about to get into overtime, but before we do it, before I even hand it over to you, Kadeem, I just want to mention, I do wonder the concussions, the concussion total in rugby per season. Now, I don't know how many games rugby plays per season, but I wonder what the numbers are compared to the NFL numbers. I think last year or the season before last, it was more than 231 concussions documented in the NFL. So I wonder what rugby is. And I think, according to Tom Pelissero, I think this is last year's numbers. They average 12 every Sunday. 12 concussions every Sunday. That's the average. Documented concussions in the NFL every Sunday.
I was just looking. There's nothing. This is from an article a few years ago, Rugby Union. It said the 2020 to 2021 season had an average of 22 concussions per 1,000 hours. So that's 131 concussions sustained in matches. I don't know why they said it in hours and not games. But basically, that year, it was the 10th season running concussion with the most reported injury, accounting for 28% of injuries. Yeah, just.
And we're gonna do our research better next time. To compare rugby concussions and NFL concussions. I feel like that'll give us some pretty good data. And I wonder if the NFL already has that data and
they do.
And they don't like it. And they're like, all right, we won't say nothing about this. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to remove how cool our helmets look and our uniforms and how much stuff sells and stuff. But yeah, I'll be real with you. I obviously don't want to remove the helmet from the game because it looks so cool. It's like we're going to battle type stuff. But at the same time, can we figure it out? You know what I'm saying? They just allowed what was it? The Guardian caps to be played in the NFL, and Devon Achane had his Guardian cap for maybe 2 or 3 games, and he played with it. But even the Guardian cap isn't concussion proof.
And I don't think anything ever will be concussion proof because, yeah, absolutely crazy. You want to get into?
Yeah, we get it overtime.
Okay, cool. I thought you were going to say something.
I was going to say it, but I can say it now. Before we get into overtime, I say it every episode, every CTE awareness episode, every mental health awareness episode, the movie Concussion.
Yeah.
If you're not a movie person, if you're not a this actor person, that actor person, no diddy. Swallow the meat, spit out the bones. You know what I'm saying? Like, watch the movie. Watch the movie. It is so good if you're a football fan. If you're a football fan, you can appreciate what they have brought to the forefront as far as concussions in the NFL. And this is an older movie. And I remember watching, it's not older, it's like 8 years ago, I guess. I don't know. But
2015.
Well, it's in the ballpark. So 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Bro, when I'm watching the movie as a football fan, diehard football fan, I'm like, My kids are playing football. Everybody's playing football. What are you doing? You got to get your grades better for football. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on that no more because of the movie, because of the CTE awareness that movie brought me to. And yeah, I still let my child play. I'll just be a little more meticulous in when I let them play, how I let them play, all kinds of stuff. But the CTE awareness episode, mental health awareness episode, watch the movie Concussion. Is so good. There's a part in it, which is my favorite part, where the doctor basically that came up with the term CTE. He coined CTE and named it that. He actually says how the woodpecker, the animal, the woodpecker, the bird, has a mechanism built to sustain pecking wood so his brain does not get rattled while he's pecking the wood like that. And the human does not have that element or that security measure built into our brains. It is a fascinating movie. Brings a whole bunch of things to to consider, and I hope you consider watching that movie. But we're going into overtime. Got some sports we got to talk about. Y'all know what time it is. Stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time.
Still listening? Then you're one of us. Got a Day One Dolphins fan you know who hasn't found Go Time Dolphins yet? Put them on. As you're rocking with the show, don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and drop a comment on your favourite podcast app, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music or Google Podcasts. It helps more Fins fans find the pod and keeps the community growing strong.
Charlie, today the Dolphins return to OTAs on orange jerseys. Have you seen who wore the first orange jerseys of the off-season?
Ethan Bonner and someone else. I forgot who it was.
Jalen Phillips.
Jalen Phillips. That's who it was. How much of that, Kadeem, do you think was motivation for Jalen Phillips, and how much of it do you think was authentic?
Generally don't know. I think it's good to see him back out there. You know, what I will say, you're back out there, don't need to rush it. Like, bro, don't need to rush it. The fact he's out there, the fact that he's running, he's bending the corners, all that kind of stuff, I can imagine he's going to be okay for week one. But let's pump the brakes, slow it down a bit. Because, again, you talk about, players on the comeback injuries and stuff like that. He's someone who the Dolphins need to stay healthy and to contribute this season. So good to see him back out there. Good to see him working out, looking good. Just stay injury free, please.
Bruh, Jalen Phillips is going to be so motivated this year. It's a contract year. He didn't play as much as he wanted to play last year, recovering from an injury in Achilles. Now he's coming back from an ACL. This man's going to be so motivated. Yeah, we don't want him to come back too early. Yeah, we don't want him to do too much. But Bradley Chubb didn't play the entire season last year either. There is a chance, Kadeem, that this D-line is so hungry, bro, that we actually might be better than what we expect to be. I'm not getting my hopes up for it, but there is a chance that that is a real thing, that the Dolphins are like, oh, y'all try to count us out. We're only getting 8 wins, Vegas. Oh, yeah, that's it. Okay, I got to check for that. So, yeah, if everything is hitting on all cylinders, don't get it twisted. Yeah, maybe Tua does slide. Maybe Tua don't take the hits. And then we win the games that we're supposed to win. Maybe this, maybe that. But, Kadeem, I'm going to be real with you. The New England Patriots are getting the train back on the tracks. These boys got a coach now. They got a front office. that I'm like, yo, I hate that the Patriots front office looks this good. I'm dead serious. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, they got some dudes in their front office. And then, Mike Vrabel is a dude, overachieves everywhere he goes. Took Tannehill and the Titans to the 1 seed in the AFC, literally. You know what I'm saying? Over the Chiefs. So, bruh, the Patriots are about to figure it out. And I wonder what that means for the Dolphins. Because once upon a time, the Dolphins had the 1 seed for like a week or two. And then we blew it. We lost 5 games out of 7 or something like that. I can't remember what it was. And one of them games was to the Titans. All that being said, the same way I said maybe Tua learns how to slide. Maybe this happens. Maybe that happens. Maybe Jalen Phillips comes back nice. Maybe Tyreek actually does play for the Dolphins this year. I still doubt that. I have my doubts. But maybe, Kadeem, the Dolphins lose week 1 to the Colts. Now the Colts are playing with a purpose. Jim Irsay passes away. You know what I'm saying? It's the opening home game of the season. It's home in Indianapolis. Maybe the Dolphins blow it. And there's nothing like a team playing with a purpose. You know what I'm saying? So all of a sudden, bro, there's no all of a sudden. I think we got the Colts first. I'm not sure that's a win anymore. I'm dead serious. Maybe we blow it. Maybe they keep it close. And when you're playing with a purpose, anything can happen. It is what it is. And then you got the Patriots week 2. I don't know. Patriots getting it figured out. I think it's early. I think we beat both. I think we beat the Colts and the Patriots. But then you got Buffalo after that. If someone said the Dolphins go 0-3 and Tyreek quits on the team in the 3rd week, you gonna be surprised, Kadeem?
Well, Jason Keck says 0 doubts here. Tyreek is a Dolphin, but he said that before what you just said. So no, I wouldn't be surprised. But there's so much football, there's so much stuff to happen before that, which kind of leads me nicely into what I was going to say next. Jalen Ramsey tweets 5. Now, was it 5 or 5 days? Let me double check. He definitely tweeted 5. Jalen Ramsey, he tweets 5, just 5. ... Now, 5 is 5 days until June 1st. That's number 5, and
I thought he wore number 5, but go ahead.
Yeah, and it's Miami. It's a Miami Dolphin player. It's an athlete. They can just tweet whatever they want. People are going to read too much into it. But do you think this is Jalen Ramsey's way of saying, I'm leaving Miami in 5 days, June 1st, I'm going to be a Ram or a Cowboy? Are we looking at the final days of Jalen Ramsey's tenure as a Miami Dolphin?
So allegedly, Jalen Ramsey bought a house in Dallas recently, like the past 2 weeks. It actually is a thing. Allegedly, I said actually and allegedly, but turns out sources say, how about that? Sources say Jalen Ramsey has purchased a house in Dallas, the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. Cool story, bro. Hey, let's get Jonathan Mingo, bro. Like maybe we could finesse a Jonathan Mingo out of it. I want volunteers, not hostages. I want you to be here. I don't want someone who's gonna be disgruntled. I don't want someone who's gonna be disgruntled after 3 losses either. I want someone who's gonna be like, hey, we took 3. This is why I said the Panthers, bro. The Florida Panthers. I know this is a Dolphins podcast and everyone isn't all teams Miami. I know that. But I also know that everybody don't even pay attention to hockey. I know that too. The Florida Panthers, Kadeem, we have made it to our 3rd consecutive Eastern Conference championship. We are in the 3rd consecutive Eastern Conference championship. We lost the first one. Yeah, we lost. No, we made it to the Stanley Cup the first time, and we lost the Stanley Cup. We lost the championship. Then we won the championship the year after that, and now we're about to, in my opinion, repeat. So there's all kind of stuff on social media about Coach Maurice, bro. This dude is a dude, bro. The coach, the Panthers up 3-1, and he's yelling at the bench. He's yelling at the players on the bench, like, yo, we not running plays now. Don't take your foot off their neck now. Well, I want to make sure by the time it's game 7 or game 6, they quit by then. Like, we're gonna keep playing. We're gonna run it up. Like, so when Kadeem said, "Hey, Kadeem, would you kick the field goal to break the record?" He said, "No,
100%.
I'm scoring the touchdown." You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm scoring it. Like, bro, I need this mentality for all the teams in Miami. The Heat got it figured out with the Heat culture. You know what I'm saying? People come down here, oh, that coach is a real thing. They're winners. You know what I'm saying? Although Spo has never won Coach of the Year somehow, some way, which is the wildest thing. But we keep being successful as Heat, as a franchise. Yeah, I need the Dolphins to get it figured out because everybody else figuring it out. Dolphins have not figured it out. Marlins got 2 championships. The Heat have 3 championships. The Panthers have a championship and made it to 4. We're about to make it to our 4th Stanley Cup in my lifetime, Kadeem. I have not seen the Dolphins even sniff or whiff the Super Bowl, bro. The Dolphins got to get it figured out, bro.
I mean, the Hard Rock Stadium did host the Super Bowl, so that's the closest the Dolphins have got in recent years. I'm just
glad
saying.
this is still the same mental health awareness episode because, bro, these boys play with my health, bro. Straight up.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Very quickly before we go, Jason Keck talking about Tyreek quitting, essentially, end of the season. Same opinion that I had. The game was done, the season was done. He removed himself. I have no issue with it. Is what it is. So yeah, Jason. We will be back soon to talk all things Miami Dolphins.
Hold
OTAs.
on. All right, we're gonna go, but I disagree because I feel like I like what Coach said. Like, yo, we're up, we're down. You're playing with a purpose. You try to set the tone for next week. I get that. With the Tyreek game, on the other hand, obviously we were out, no playoff contention. I understand it. Maybe the front office didn't make the right decision in time, but there's a way to go about it. Next time you get to the sideline, be like, hey, take me out. You know what I'm saying? Take us out. Whatever, however you want to say it. But to leave he left the huddle, Kadeem. And Waddle, there's audio of this. Waddle like, Reed, you out? You done? Like, that is literally what Waddle say. Like, hey, what's going on with Waddle? He literally quit on the team. It's not like he quit on the sideline.
Yeah.
Dog walked off the field on some what's Jones? What's Jones' name? The safety?
Not Rashad Jones.
Rashad Jones, yeah. Rashad Jones, bro. Rashad Jones walked off the field and we were playing safetyless. And everybody's like, where Rashad Jones at? And we had to go put somebody in for him because he quit on the team. It's a way he quit on the team, bro. That's not it. It's not it. And there's somebody who passed away. We're not going to bring up his name. He kind of quit a crazy way too. But dog is gone. He's not here to defend himself no more. But yeah, my bad. Hey, Buffalo Bills on Hard Knocks, by the way.
I ain't watching that. Nah. But I'll be in Orlando.
You're not gonna watch it?
No.
Hey, Joey Bosa out till training camp. Got an injury already.
Sucks to be Bosa and the Bills. So yes, we shall see you on the next one. Keep the comments going. We will respond to comments in due time. So make sure I've got everything lined up. I've done everything lined up. Let's do this very quickly. Perfect. Brilliant. Guys, until the next one, we shall see you soon. Peace. Wrong side.
Oopsie.